do, though, have to get into our conversation this morning with CS Dr. Deborah Barasa to just talk about climate, forestry, and everything that we've seen happen in the country. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Karibu sana Waziri. As you know, you've been here before. Jano is going to give you the quotes.
Yes.
As we begin the conversation.
Right. Let's came over this one. Somebody called Joseph Story said this. He was born, he said this in 1833, according to data. He was an American lawyer and jurist, but he said a government that is badly run will be a bad government no matter how good its ideas are.
Yes. So I think that is right. It is important that we learn from that statement, that even the concepts that we're getting from all over the world, wonderful concepts, which I believe as a nation we can be able to achieve. I mean, all of us, sitting on this table, I believe we've been able to travel across the globe. And the land is the same. The blood that is running in our veins is similar to other people. So why is it that we are not getting to Singapore? So we need our policies, our governance, our strategies, our plans to be aligned, to see what are the best practices across the globe and see how we can implement them in Kenya. So I believe in Kenya. I believe we're in a journey towards Singapore, and I believe we can achieve that with good governance and with good strategies. And so we need to work towards that journey.
So good ideas, okay. Going to Singapore, okay. But I think if we just look at what that lawyer was saying more than 100 years ago, a government that is badly run will just not achieve anything, despite the good ideas, right? We are at a point this Monday morning, Waziri, where people are feeling that this government is badly run because of just a simple one incident and what has happened with that incident, okay? Your ministry is in charge of the Kenya Met Department. It's under you. The National Environment Management Authority is under you, plus many others, including forestry and all. But let's just look at this. The Kenya Meteorological Department gives us the forecasts and issues the warnings and says we're going to have rainfall, we're going to have insufficient rainfall, we're going to have droughts, right? Who consumes that information?
Yes, so there are multiple people or stakeholders that consume the information. First of all, we can talk about the community, but also at a multi-sectoral level. We have various sectors that are involved. When we talk about the forecast, when we talk about maybe the climatic outlook, we share it as a whole of government, as a whole of society, right? And implementation also takes that kind of effect, yeah? So we have noticed that there have been challenges. I agree with you in terms of maybe the drainage that is being caused by flooding, etc. So implementation will really take a whole of government approach, and that again comes to Nairobi County. You see, for us, we have a hub. You know, we have a hub for Africa. We are known as the big brother. Kenya is known as the big brother for Africa. But how do we ensure that we maintain that position as a big brother, okay? And especially having Nairobi as the capital city.
Okay, now let's just step back. So when Met issues these warnings, it is sufficient for us to say that the government is aware.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So all departments that are responsible for citizens' welfare are aware that we are going to have heavy rains in the next 10 days.
Yes.
Then what happens? How come we don't hear anything from the government about this clear warning that's been given by your department, the Kenya Met, on then what should happen?
Yes.
How come by Friday morning, let's be more specific, Friday morning, this government of ours was not telling us anything about the impending heavy rainfall?
So, no. As a ministry, as KMD, we sent the report of heavy rainfalls, right? Yeah. For us, we are like whistleblowing. We are saying that, hey, There's drought, hey, there's going to be a flood. Yeah. That's what we do. Now, the other department is the public service, which has special program which deals with the disaster risk management. So they are the ones who now convene and come up with a response and also preparedness and readiness for whatever disaster may ensue following that report that we have given. So I believe that the concerns are for public service, but what we do, we work as a whole of government. For us, we share the forecast, and then we believe that the disaster team should come up with an intervention or a strategy whenever there is a flood.
So even though, oh sorry.
I just wanted to say, so the State Department for Special Programs dropped the ball, basically is what you're saying.
No.
They had the sufficient warning. No. They had the warning from the Kenyan
I believe the minister should be able to answer that. What are the interventions that they have?
We can see what came from the Ministry of Public Service Development and Special Programs was a statement on Saturday morning saying that, oh my God, there have been floods. Oh my goodness, we are going to meet this morning to have an emergency meeting. Oh my Lord, we urge every Kenyan to be very careful.
And
they were saying that on Saturday morning, not on Friday, not on Thursday, not on Wednesday, not on Tuesday.
Okay, so as a ministry, what we do, we warn. We have early warning system, so we warn and we inform Kenyans. And from there, each of us has to take a responsibility from national to county and to community level. And so we have templates. I would talk briefly on behalf of public service, but I believe you should be able to call them to address your concerns.
Yes.
But we already have, preparedness and readiness plans whenever a disaster strikes in Kenya. And then now when it comes to response of a flood, that is, again, we always have a template. So, it is an anticipatory mode.
If there is a template, it is a terrible template. If it is being followed and this is what disaster management and response looks like, I would hate to see what it looks like without, because honestly, it looks like grasping at straws. Let me go into your and I would love to hear more about those disaster management responses and preparedness. But let me go into something that is within your purview, which is NEMA. A lot of a big reason why we do see flooding is, yes, clogged drainage, but a lot of development on riparian land. In Nairobi, it's quite literally one of the biggest issues, right? Essentially water needs to move at some point. If we have constructed along it, this is what happens. So NEMA has a big responsibility to bear as far as this flooding is concerned. What has been happening as far as moving people off riparian land, not approving developments along riparian land?
I mean, there's a lot that is ongoing. First of all, remember, these are things that have been inherited from other governments that have been in the land. And so you can imagine the push and pull when it comes to that. So the legal frameworks are there. You can see all the work that is going on along the Nairobi River, and you can see the political how politically polarized it is. But the impacts are felt when now we are seeing floods and we are seeing those homes and people just have to move. So it is a journey. Let me say for sure, it is a journey because it's really a politically charged concern. But we have done a lot in terms of moving people from the riparian lands. We have the legislative frameworks there that need to be implemented. We have our people at county level. Monitoring is ongoing, and we are really guiding.
Could we get something more concrete? This is how much riparian land we have, for example, reclaimed in our time since, I know you're new, not new, but fairly newish to the ministry, but since 2022, this is how much riparian land we've been able to reclaim. These are how many people we have moved. This is the rivers that we are rehabilitating, etc., etc.
So I'll talk about what I have, and I wish you had asked me earlier so that we can, concretize and give, tangible data when it comes to that. We would have prepared that as a ministry, and we are happy to have that. But 2 weeks ago, I believe, we had the project by the Green Climate Financing, which covers 4 counties. It's on the upper Athi River. So we have that. We have the Nairobi River Commission, and we are really working with partners to look at the urban rivers and address the issues of riparian land.
I think in future it's important to just have the data at hand.
Right, because it's so...
Please do.
Absolutely, we have so much data.
Yeah,
you can
true.
imagine, we have 15 billion, we have NEMA. So if you give us time, we can consolidate. We are working on an MRD dashboard. We can come and project and show Kenyans what it is. Because, number of people that have been moved. Some were moved yesterday. How do you consolidate that information and give what is realistic on the ground?
But essentially, when having a conversation about flooding, knowing one of the causes is this.
Yes,
but
I wish it wasn't 15 billion. I had prepared for 15 billion. But the flooding is an issue that is at hand, and we are working together. We are having a whole of government approach. We are having routine meetings and sharing where are the areas of floods, and coming up with strategies to be able to protect Kenyans.
Yeah, we're here on the 15 billion. We're going to mention it a little bit, in terms of forestation and bringing back the forest. But you've got to be, also alive to what's happening in the country.
Yes.
Is the Nairobi River Regeneration Program under your ministry?
No, it is under public housing and public works.
So, you see, now this is where the disjointed thing. So, so there's housing, public works, and urban development. That's where the Nairobi River Regeneration would come in.
Yes.
But they are working closely with your officials in NEMA, and I'm sure officials from your ministry. If you look at how we manage our environment, in terms of waste management particularly, is there a concern for you of how waste management is handled by all counties, starting, of course, with the capital?
That is a brilliant question. And when I came to ministry, I really, coming from my background, public health, waste management was an area that I'm really passionate about. And as a ministry, we are looking at circular economy. So we have developed the circular economy strategy. We have looked at best practices across the globe, and we are in a journey to implementation. We've had Mombasa and Kisumu County, so we are starting with the big cities, and also now moving to other cities, especially Nairobi. You saw the president who were there at Dandora site. And so we're looking at circular economy. Can you imagine in other countries where there's zero waste, everything else is being recycled back? So you can see the plastics being recycled back, like plastic chairs, etc. You have the organic waste being made into fertilizers and etc. And then we have also the textiles, which are broken down, and waste to energy conversion is done. And so we've had best practices from across the globe. After this, I'm going to meet the waste pickers, and we are talking about a benefit package for them. Because again, in this government, we are saying we're leaving no one behind. So educating, informing them on various components like social health authority, looking at cooperatives where they can, grow in terms of economy, looking at their health, again, and also, incorporating them or building in an area where they can have a value addition. So those are the discussions we are having, circular economy in Kenya, and we believe it is achievable. And we hope that you, again, can be champions of this. We cannot have linear, economy where we're just dumping waste in one area. It's accruing, it's causing infectious diseases, public health hazards, etc., while others are recycling. So the journey is beginning, and you'll see a lot of change when we start that. Thank you.
I also hope that I try to put myself in your shoes, because I hear that that's the next meeting you're going to. How are you tallying that with the urgency of what's happening right now? You talked about routine meetings and an all-of-government approach. Can you walk us through what's expected today to address what's happening with the floods? What role you're going to be playing in the next meeting you're having, what role everyone else is playing. Because it's great what you're talking about. It's the future. It's something that we need to do now. Top of mind right now is just that 42 lives have been lost. Flooding is going to continue. So from your docket and for the routine meetings you mentioned, how soon can we get an update, and how soon is the next
The
routine
update
meeting?
will be out today. The update will be out today in terms of the weather forecast for the next 7 days. For us, we just give the forecast, and then we guide, and then we also work together to come up with interventions that would support the people of Kenya. So the rescue team, public service would convene a meeting with the various ministries that have been affected, come up with an emergency plan, a short-term and a long-term plan. So long-term would look at the architectural, the drainage system, etc. And when we are talking about that, the cost for Nairobi and why the national government is needed. There's need for synergy. There's need for collaboration, cohesion, coordination, and consultation between the national and county government for us to make Nairobi work. Yeah, that is the only way when we have teamwork, and that is why you saw the signing of the agreement with the Nairobi team. And I believe that we need to make Nairobi a better place for each one of us, because it is a hub for Africa. We can elevate it to an international, a center of excellence. But I don't think we should be negatively charged. I mean, look at what is happening with the flood. But when we talk about national and county agreements, coordination to improve these challenges.
This was a perfect opportunity, by the way, for these two entities to actually show us the benefit of collaboration.
Lovely.
This was
lovely.
a perfect opportunity.
And you will see that.
And they dropped it.
No.
The chair of the coordination of the partnership between the national government and the county government, the prime cabinet secretary, was not in the country when this was happening. All right, but of course,
but you can look. You
the
can
person
see
not
the
being the person not being in the country
that we are facing
well,
globally.
The person not being in the country does not mean that the office is not in the country.
Right.
I am sure he was getting briefed. I'm sure the people who were working under him to chair and coordinate this partnership were awake on that Friday night. But we didn't hear from them. We heard from them through a statement by the PCS on Saturday, I think after 3 p.m., 2 p.m. or thereabouts, okay? The county, his vice chair is the county governor. We didn't hear from the county governor until last night. We saw him on TV appearing and saying, but I don't have to appear, right? This was an opportunity. Please take the message to them. It's not you we are berating. Just tell them we had the one chance to show that this is why national government is needed, and we bungled it.
You know what, Latif? There are many chances.
There are many
chances.
So,
and trust you me,
unfortunately,
from the flood,
25 people are not going to live to see those chances.
We have
they
3
died.
months. We have 3 months to change the course, okay? Because the rainy season is just beginning, all right? So it will go on until April. So what do? We convene a meeting quickly. We start looking at the interventions hastily to ensure that we are not losing lives, yeah? And let me just be candid and say we accept the concerns that have been raised. We acknowledge the challenges, but we are in agreement that we need to work together with the Nairobi County. Yes.
We had a short time because of the traffic that you got caught up in, but we also wanted to discuss Karura and what's going on. I mean, as you talk about forestation, the bid to have the 15 billion trees,
yes.
We are also seeing what's happening in Karura in terms of push and pull in management. The Kenya Forest Service, which is under you, and the community, the Friends of Karura community, they have been having this tussle back and forth, right? Are you briefed on this?
Let me be clear, first of all. I've had a lot of concerns. Let me tell you, the 15 billion tree growing campaign, it is really bringing to life the spirit of Wangari Maathai when it comes to restoration of our ecosystem. And not just that, it is 15 billion. It is all the forests across the country. It's all the ecological zones. Talk about the coastal lands, the dry lands, the wetlands. the highlands, the lowlands.
Yes.
So it is, you know what we are looking at. And I said this when I came. We have seeds. It was coming to seedling propagation. For us to meet our 1.5 billion within a year, we need a lot of seedlings. We need to mobilize and strategize in all the forest stations so that they can produce from 2 million to 10 million.
Waziri, please let's go back to the
One
Karura.
of them being Karura.
Okay.
Yesterday, I was in, and also yesterday, Saturday and Sunday, we were in Charangani. The forest, the community there is receptive. They're saying, you mean we're going to produce more than 5 million seedlings? We are ready to go and plant the trees. We'll plant them in the highways, byways. We'll plant them in our forests, in our homesteads. Now in Karura, we were just clearing space for us to propagate 2 million to 10 million seedlings, for us to green our city, for us to ensure that the forest again is well covered. So
How much land has been cleared?
I think it's around 2 to 3 acres to propagate around 5 million seedlings. Plant in our highways, to plant in our byways, to plant in our schools, in our institutions, in our urban cities.
Who was informed that this land was going to be cleared
City
for
Park,
propagation of
in
seedlings?
Karura Forest,
Who was
etc.
informed?
We have been informing Kenyans. Even I was here in your show and I told you about it.
About the 2 to 3 acres.
We are clearing for tree seedling propagation.
So it's for nursery.
Yeah.
So what
you can
we've heard
for
that
Wangari
the
Maathai,
trees are
it
being
was
cleared
Karura.
to put up
But now we are
housing
having-
is not true.
Oh, it is a lie. We are having temporary homes for NYS because for us to achieve 2 to 10 million seedlings, we need human resource capacity to do that. So these are temporary homes. So we want to achieve in Kenya 30% forest coverage.
Was it? Just to be clear,
30%. How do we
the
achieve
3 acres being
30%?
cleared, are they to put up the temporary homes or are they to
Or-
put up a nursery?
Yeah.
The temporary homes together with the nursery. These are around 2 to 3 containers in each forest station. Because we must propagate seedlings, we must improve our forest coverage from 12% to 30% so that we can have climate resilience, ecosystem restoration, improved livelihood, socio-economic.
Is this message clear? Because people have just seen suspicious activity and people are fighting for the legacy of Karura. I know you've mentioned it, but it seems to,
Yeah.
I don't know
Including
how much.
the community
Yeah.
that has been working with KFS
Yes.
on
So I
management
think,
of Karura.
and our country, a lot of politicizing, even the good things. I mean, we are moving from 12% to 30% tree coverage. We are restoring our ecosystem. We are restoring our wetlands, our highlands, our forests, etc. We are having propagation of 1.5 up to 1.5 billion seedlings in Kenya every year. It's going on in Ethiopia. In a day, they were able to plant over 500 million seedlings. Now they're protecting, they're growing. So why shouldn't we do the same? So that is why I'm saying, for Wangari Maathai, it was Karura. But now we are taking it nationwide. And it's not just about the forest.
Okay.
It's about the wetlands, the coastal regions. We are also propagating mangroves.
Let's
You
pause
see?
there. I do feel like we'll need to have you again back soon just to even answer some questions from members of the public.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we are at time, so we can put a pin on this conversation, which is really critical because I know a large majority of the members of the public, they have their suspicions. So you can come and allay them, hopefully soon.
Sure.
Dr. Deborah Barasa, CS Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, talking about chaos and the battle for Karura. In the next hour, actually in just a minute or so, the pain of rains. We'll go back to this big conversation that we're having today. We'll be hosting Riparian Otieno, Chief Officer, Environment, Nairobi County, to give us an update on what's expected and also just looking at their in-tray today. What is it that they're going to be dealing with? It's coming up to 8 a.m.